YouTube, Sean, Leslie the For Dummies. Today, we're gonna shoot some balls through the TMC after some modifications. To recap, I have shimmed the hammer spring, and really all I've done is just maximize the velocity screw. It is at its maximum setting now. Other than that, there are more modifications to come. More importantly, the valve spring, watching Rune's video, I kind of knew the valve spring was going to be important, and I didn't have one to put into the marker, and I didn't want to cut the only factory spring that I had at this point. I always like to keep the factory stuff at the very least so I can revert back or troubleshoot with it. So I'm just going to shoot HPA in this video. I'm going to use the same kinetics that I used last time, which are these 3.7 gram riot balls. I'm going to start with the same Tippmann 9CI tank, and I will test all the outputs pressures before I send them downrange. So that bottle's first. Then I have, I think this first strike is a 1200. I will test, of course. And last but not least, a 45 gram CO2, but this is filled with HPA. Now, if you saw my post some weeks back, I purchased these off like AliExpress. They are designed for CO2, but they also are rated to 3000 PSI. So why can't you fill them with HPA? Well, HPA just doesn't compress like, well, it does compress, sorry. CO2 stored as a liquid, yada, yada, yada. We won't get into that. Anyways, I don't think there is enough HPA in this 45 gram CO2 canister, which works out to be, I believe, 3.6 CI. I only have 2000 PSI in this, and this is going to be your fair warning here. This is not recommended. This is unregulated, and I don't even know if it's gonna work because, well, I had filled this cartridge actually some weeks ago to 1500, and believe it or not, it held 1500 rock solid. So I decided I would try and see if I could get it to puncture, so to speak. This has a sort of a spring-loaded tit on it. So I was just using this 3/8 24 to a 90-degree adapter. And the problem I was having is it would seat and then it would just piss out the sides instead of actually sending it out the end of the adapter. So I don't know that it's gonna work, but I'm going to be using the Vulcan on-off just because. Oh yeah, we're gonna test the output pressure. These bottles were all just filled. This bottle likes to lie. Like literally just came off the compressor and it says 2500, so we'll just go with that. This is the original one I tested the TMC with, and I think it was like 14.5 joules or something like that. So let me just look at this before I send it to you guys. It says like almost 750 PSI output. About the same as what it was the last go round. So will there be any improvement? I'm thinking not with that. Without the valve spring, I'm thinking I'm not gonna see much, but the chrono don't lie. Okay. stock the marker. Oh, and yeah, also I know you guys, there's a couple of comments about my charge handle and how, well, I was complaining it was sticky, but, well, of course, now it's doing that. It's mostly working as it should now. It's had some time to break in. All right, let's air this guy up. There we go, and that is Wixon's, can't remember what he called it. What's it called, that donut? Sorry, John. Okay, 3.7 grams, 750-ish PSI. Yeah, let me step out here a little bit. $296. 300. 300. 300. Right? I think you guys get the point. Was it an improvement? Can't do those calculations off the top of my head, but I think on this tank and on a stock marker, I think it was 292 last time, so 5 to 7, we'll say 5 to 10 FPS improvement with the hammer spring and, you know, just polishing the internals. Not exactly, you know, what I was expecting, but it's an improvement. Finish this mag off. All done. Next take, we're going for the Gusto. All right, let's test this bad boy. Oh, come on. Oh, yes. This one is filled to 3. That gauge is not lying. What do we got there? Hang on, let me look at that. 1300? Yowza. Well, I definitely would never recommend putting 1300 into your marker. I don't remember the bottle being that high. The gauges don't lie. Well, this could end badly. This could end badly. We'll try it anyways. 'Cause that's what I do. I break stuff. See, charging iron worked that time. For safety, we're going to point it down range because, well, I've never ran that much pressure through this marker. Strangely enough, it aired just as silently as if I had the little lightweight bottle on there, the 750. Any guesses? I don't know. My experiences when I put that kind of pressure through my sort of my speedball marker, Victor Spider, it didn't make that much difference. It only made like 10 FPS more. which is pretty much demonstrating there's limits in these valves. 3.7 grams. Keep your fingers crossed. .334. So that shot is hot as CO2. My CO2 90 gram was shooting 330, 332. The strangest thing, guys, though, again, never recommend running this kind of pressure. This marker is just as quiet on this 1300 as it was on the 750, and that's never the case with, you know, more traditional M17 or an FSC for that matter. What kind of havoc this is wreaking on the inside of the gun, I have no idea. But it will be coming apart very shortly again for a valve spring upgrade. And I also have a nice Delrin bolt that actually has an extra O-ring seal on it, so that should be nice. Yeah. Well, handles it like a champ, really. Let's finish these off. It's interesting. This Volkvis on-off was giving me grief on my M17, and it is working like the cat's ass on this thing. Like, wow. Well, 1300 psi, guys. Marker's clear. I don't know what to tell you, really. I need to do some more upgrades to see where that actually takes me, but it shoots the same on that kind of crazy pressure as it did on the CO2, so tells you something a little bit about it, but playing with fire with that for sure, I think. All right, what you've all been waiting for, what I've been waiting to try. Now that I know it'll handle 1300, where did I put my adapter? There it is, never mind. Okay, so this is an ASA to 16 gram adapter with 16 gram, has a 3/8 24 thread, which is also the same as this 3.6 CI cartridge. 2000 PSI, just filled today, unregulated. I don't know what it's gonna do. What I'm very curious about here actually is, can I sustain a number of shots, or is this going to charge the marker? I'm going to get 1 or 2 shots because it's just not enough volume to continually fill this air chamber to fire a magazine. All right, 3.7 grams. I have 18 loaded up. Don't think it's going to shoot 18, but okay. Cock the marker. I'm going to insert my adapter. So you can see how it threads in like that. Here goes nothing. Safety's on. Marker's clear. So it threads in, just like you would a 16 gram. So it's right against the pin right now. Man, does add some compactness, but okay. All right, enough. Okay, let's crank her in there and hope she holds. It's screwed in. It did lose quite a burst of air there, and that was the issue I was having with the other the 90 gram adapter. Cue the dogs. Okay. Zero! And there's my ball. Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. And here's what I think happened. It's not that it didn't charge the marker. It's compressing that pin to the point that it's actually not allowing the air into the marker. So you're gonna have to work on this, but I mean, the proof is there. So now watch when I back it out, it's just gonna blow the 2000 out. Oh, you know what? Let's just make sure this thing is clear. Okay, here we go. Okay. The air is in there, but it's getting trapped in this adapter. The pin on this is just not ideal for what we're trying to do, I guess. Let's see, will it fire? No. Smell that stale air. Well, it's a very interesting idea anyways. Just got to get that to work better. Well, guys, that was the first one, first go around. I have to get the wrench to get that adapter out of there. Improvement on the original bottle, 5 to 10 FPS. For what I've done, I guess, didn't cost me anything. What is next? CO2. We will do CO2 tomorrow, like I said, and then we're gonna be back in this guy once my parts arrive, and they should be here. Believe it or not, they were in Canada, like at a Canadian store. So usually 2 to 5 working days is usually what it takes to get here. So may have another marker coming out in between that and the installation of the new part. So see you on the next one, guys.